In order to rotate an object, you can select rotate command from modify panel. So here we have this rotate command on modify panel of home tab. Select rotate. Now select the object which you want to rotate. In this case, I want to rotate this rectangle. Now press enter. As you can see that the command line now prompts you to select the base point, and the base point which you select will remain fixed, and that will also act as pivot point of rotation. So now let's select this corner point, this lower left point of this rectangle as the base point, and as soon as you select that point, you will see that your rectangle starts to rotate along with your cursor, keeping that base point at its constant position. Now you can specify rotation angle using command line, or you can click anywhere on the screen to rotate it dynamically. So I will enter rotation angle from command line. Let's enter 30 and press enter. So here we have this rectangle rotated at an angle of 30 degree. In order to make a rotation along with a copy of this rectangle, you can select rotate, go to this rectangle, press enter, specify base point, and now from this command line click on copy. This will ensure that the original rectangle will be retained and the copy of that rectangle will be created at the angle which we provide right now. So let's enter an angle of 120 degree in this case and press enter. So here we have these two rectangles, and this rectangle is at 120 degrees. Now in this case, we don't know the angle for this line. We have made this randomly. In order to rotate it at a particular known angle, you can select reference. So let's see how we can access reference from rotation. Select rotate, select this object and press enter. Now click on the base point. Again, in this case, this lower left point will be the base point. And now from command line select reference. Now you need to specify the reference line of our object. So here I'll click at this point as the origin and the destination. Now AutoCAD cursor will follow your line or the object. All you need to do now is enter the destination angle or the final angle. So let's enter 60 and press enter. So whatever the angle of your original line was, it's now changed to an inclined line of angle 60 degree, and in both the cases, in this case and in this case, the angle will be measured from positive direction of x-axis and in a anti-clockwise sense. Now in order to scale a drawing, you can select scale and it will increase or decrease your drawing size depending upon the scale that you provide. You can access scale command from modify panel, and here you will find this scale. Click on this command. Now select objects which you want to scale. Right now I want to select this object and press enter. Now you need to specify base point, and the base point will remain fixed. So let's select this lower left point as the base point. Now when you move your cursor, you will see that the size of this window changes along with the cursor, but we are not going to do it dynamically or with cursor. We can again enter a ratio here for changing this scale. If we enter a ratio value in between 0 to 1, it will decrease the size. If we enter a value greater than 1, then it will increase the size. For example, if we enter a value of 2, then it will make all the dimensions twice of its original value. If we make it 3, it will make it thrice. And if we enter a value of 0.5, it will decrease all the dimensions to half its value. So let's enter 2, and you might have noticed these dimensions. So keep an eye on these dimensions and now press enter. As soon as you'll do this, you'll see that all these dimensions now double in their value. So the overall scale of this drawing is changed to twice of what it was initially. You can also decrease its value. So let's select this scale again, select the object, press enter, and now specify the base point, which will be the lower left point in this case. But in this case, I want to make a copy of this object, and I want to retain this original object, and I want to make a smaller one along with a copy. So let's click on this copy and enter the value of your scale. So let's enter 0.25 as the scale or the factor, and now press enter. As soon as you'll do this, you'll see all the dimensions for this window is now reduced to 1/4 of its original value, and also the original rectangle or the original window will be retained. Now if you want to increase the size for this window in such a way that this bottom line reaches the size of this red line, and you obviously don't know the ratio for which you need to increase it, then you can use reference along with scale. So let's do this. Select scale and select your object. Now make sure that only the object which you want to change its scale value is selected and press enter. Now specify base point, which will be the lower left corner in this case, and select reference from subcommands. Now click on the starting point and the end point of your original object. Now click on the destination point where you want to move it finally, and here we have it. So now this base has been increased to the size that we want, and all the rest of the objects will compensate for the size, and they will also increase in the same proportion.